Back to one-on-ones. This is the stuff I like best. Nick Halling along with Richard Hood enjoying the Weber Cup, Europe v USA for the Ryder Cup of 10-pin bowling. And it's the Norwegian Torgerson against the young American Dino Castillo. On paper, you'd have to fancy Torgerson, Richard.
Yes, you would. Really, the main difference between the two is that Tor's striking much better when he hits the pocket. His carry percentage is much higher.
Oh! I thought he'd left himself the 7-10. That was almost a sensational start.
Tora won't be worried about that. He's hit the pocket good, made a good shot. You can't bowl and try to leave a 7-10 other than to try and hit the pocket, so he's carried the 10 out anyway. Relatively safe spare, I should imagine. Yep.
Well, we do see the miss, but not on that occasion. Torgerson underway with a spare. What's going through the mind of Dino Castillo? I mean, Tim Mack more or less said to us that he doesn't expect anything out of Castillo in this particular match, so I suppose anything he can give him would be a real bonus as the USA try to claw back this 3-point deficit.
Well, there were a few signs in the Baker where he did bowl 2 shots and got 2 strikes.
And there's one, even if it was a little bit fortuitous. That could have left anything, couldn't it?
Yes, this is atrociously light on the head pin to be carrying a strike, but I guess he really deserved it. He's made a lot better shots that didn't get strikes in this tournament. And as I said, there was evidence in the 5s that he was starting to carry now, although I didn't really expect to get it like that.
Very much the rookie on this USA team, Castillo. Unlike Torgerson, very much the seasoned veteran. Working that spare. Oh, it's the 10 this time. Not the start the Norwegian was looking for.
Well, no, he won't be happy that he's not got at least 1 strike out of this, but he just has to say, well, that's okay, I'm making good shots. If I keep the ball in the pocket, hit the pocket 12 times, I'm still going to be tough to beat.
And that's really the trick, just make absolutely sure on those spares. How many times have we seen open frames left? This fella doesn't leave too many of those.
Surprising, most of the time those single pins don't hurt you unless you miss them. Normally they even out.
I tell you what, Richard, there's a real good opportunity here for Dino Castillo to put a little glimmer of daylight between himself and Torgerson. That could come in useful in the latter stages. No, I think he's got what he deserved this time. Rode his luck last time, but it ran out.
Looks like he didn't make a move off the last strike shot, because he's really hit in almost exactly the same position, and this time he's really paid the price for it.
Very light indeed. A gettable spare, but very difficult. The degree of difficulty on this is tough.
Oh, he hit the pin on the wrong side,
yeah,
Nick.
The wrong way. Open frame. Never mind that Torgerson's not striking. You leave an open frame, you are going to make life very difficult for yourself. What odds on a strike here from the Norwegian? Well, I don't believe that.
Well, I think Tora left exactly the same leave earlier on in this competition. Most bowlers, when they leave the 8-10, they would leave it off of a solid pocket hit, but the mixing hit, as Tora got there, would not normally leave the 8-10, so he's been very, very unlucky.
And he was unlucky there as well, because he got the pin action, but it just wouldn't come out enough for him, but an open frame left again. tell you what, you look at the tail of the tape on Torgerson in his singles matches, 299 in that tremendous win against Michael Mullin. Then he dropped right down to 191 in the rematch with Mullin. And he's struggling here as well. He's not on top of his game.
No, but he's the sort of bowler that will just suddenly find it, and you know, it wouldn't really be a surprise to me if he struck out from here, so he's not behind in the match, really, not appreciably anyway.
The strange thing is, Richard, through 3 frames of this match, we've only had 1 strike. They're finding lots of different pins to leave upstanding as well. But as you say, because of the errors that both men have made, there's not an awful lot between them at the moment. Now then, 2 spares and an open frame for Torgerson. Frame 4, will it bring him his first strike? Yes, at last.
Good mix on the pins from Tora there. I think he's just being patient. I don't think he's really trying too much out there. He's made pretty good shots and not really had much of a result off them, but he's still in the game and he's got a strike working for him now. Can Dino reply?
Yes, he can. Got the little love tap there on the 10. He enjoyed this. Took a little bounce there, the ball at the point of delivery.
Yes, you see the 6-pin going to the gutter, standing up, and then it just falls off the kick back onto the 10 and nudges it over.
So the tempo just picked up noticeably. Just as you say that, Torgerson leaves himself with a 10 again. Well, he's allowing himself a wry smile and a look around at 1 or 2 teammates, I think, but
well, he's suffering like the USA suffered in the previous session, really. He's not making bad shots, just getting bad luck. He needs to find a way of carrying the pins. Now Dino can really make a move with a double here.
yes, he can. Most un-Torgerson-like numbers being put up to date. Yes, a double here really would make things interesting. Come on. There it is. Hey, and the underdog showing his teeth here.
Yes, Dino looking very determined. Gotcha.
Yes, he enjoyed that, the American. The sharpshooter from Dallas ahead here against Torgerson.
Just talking with Dino, he reckons his team, the Dallas Cowboys, are playing for the #1 draft pick.
And they may just get it. Torgerson, who just let go for a strike, and he just cannot fight. Can you believe what you're seeing here, Richard? 6 frames, 1 strike for Torgerson?
Well, it is a little bit unbelievable. This one wasn't a very good shot, though. He's gone way too heavy on the headpin, and he can't complain at this single pin. fact, really, that could easily have been pins on both sides of the lane. So be happy he's just got a simple spare.
Yeah, another spare. But it continues to allow Castillo to forge an even bigger advantage and just start romping home in the second half of this match. This was the European banker of this session. It is not going according to script.
Shot.
Oh yes. And Castillo, like any good player, when you give him an opening, he takes it. This is terrific bowling.
Yes, that looked like a strike all the way down the lane. Hammering home the advantage now. Frames running out for Torgerson. Really needs to get something going now.
Absolutely needs a strike. At long last. But has it come too late?
Well, and even this one wasn't totally convincing. He's relying on mix. He really needs to get the ball flusher in the pocket than he's managed so far in this game. But he knows he's still in it. He's just got to keep battling away and hope that Dino makes a mistake and he can pounce on it.
Castillo with 3 in a row behind him, knowing that a 4-bagger would give him a very strong grip on this match. Watching it all the way in. Oh. Well, what a bonus this would be for Team USA if Castillo can cash this one in. Tim Mack was telling us he didn't really expect Castillo to beat Torgerson, but his young charge is doing him proud here. Oh, come on, Tora. No, it is just not his day, is it?
Well, I said he needs to find the flush pocket hit, which he actually did there, and he still didn't get 10. No deflection through the pins at all there, and the ball just not even getting close to the 8. Sorry, 9. And,
he is not going to win with spares, that's for sure.
No, he needed to start doubling.
Not enough. So Castillo almost there now. And this, it has to be said, the shock of the Weber Cup so far. Isn't it amazing what a bit of confidence will do for you? There was a real snap about that delivery from Castillo and a huge grin as he goes back. Talk about self-belief. Going to be tough to be overtaken from here.
Very, very tough, Nick. He knows that was really the crucial one. That's going to win him the match, I think.
There's a strike at last. A little bit late in the day this for Torgerson.
Well, it's just about mathematically possible, but it's going to rely on 2 opens from Dino.
And I don't think Castillo's going to give him that opportunity. No way. I tell you, at the moment the pressure got lifted here, Castillo has bowled beautifully. This is very impressive from the young Texan. A 6-bagger.
Yes. This will settle him down nicely in the tournament, and I expect him to play well in his next game now because of this. It's very important for him.
Came in as the new kid on the block and has come of age in this match.
It's really nice to beat a player of Torgerson's capability.
And he's not just beaten him, Richard, he's hammered him. Torgerson well off the pace, well short of his standards. Well, he's going to finish on a high. But this particular horse is long since bolted.
And he's trying something completely different there and finding some success with it. Different ball, different line. Game's over, so why not try and take the opportunity to find something for the next time you have to come out.
Well, it just about sums it up for Torgerson, doesn't it, really? He's been fighting the lane and fighting the lane right from the start when he had 2 spares and an open to kick off. And he's got some work to do on this lane, because in the battle of Torgerson versus the lane, you can chalk this one up to the wood. Look how delighted he is. This an unexpected bonus. But Torgerson, in his last match, bowled a 191 as a singles, 194 here. Right off the boil, the Norwegian at the moment.
Yes, and you have to ask why he's suddenly gone like this from when he starts the tournament with a 299.
Yes, it's extraordinary. And I'll tell you what, there's no telling what this fella's capable of.
And he's nice and relaxed now. Arm flowing through nicely. Left a single pin there, but it's still another good shot he made, so...
Yes, I wonder if this fella... that was interesting. He just used his spare ball at the pins there. That was an interesting one.
Yes, that's what made me think he'd left a single pin. He'd picked his spare ball up out of the rack.
Well, he's just experimenting, of course, just mucking about. There is that one with the American football in it.
Yes, he's just having a bit of fun. Certainly fooled me.
The novelty ball couldn't produce the strike, so the last ball of this interesting match does indeed produce the spare. And a very convincing win indeed for Dino Castillo from Texas. Delighted getting some support there from his captain. What a shock. 245 plays 194. The surprise of the Weber Cup so far. Dino Castillo hammers Torgerson, and that lead has now been cut. It's Europe 9, the USA 7.